When it comes to flagship phone hands-on, I like to do a dramatic intro. Ordinarily, I'll tell you all about the history of Samsung S-series devices, from the first S to the 8th iteration, but this thing's been leaked like crazy. So, meet your old friend, the Galaxy S8. There's some stuff here that's new that maybe you didn't know about, but as somebody who's had a chance to actually hold the device, let me tell you what it's like to hold, feel, and what the experience is like with Samsung's latest flagship. Any discussion about the Samsung Galaxy S8 should start and stop with the screen. So the S8 got big. It's a 5.8-inch screen, but it's not as giant as you might think. In fact, 83% of the entire front of the phone is that beautiful AMOLED Plus display. Nothing on the spec sheet's going to jump out. The story here is more of how these parts work together for the whole. But just so you're aware, Snapdragon 835 in the US, Exynos variants elsewhere. That 5.8-inch Quad HD Plus has a resolution of 2960 by 1440 that gives it a really solid 570 ppi. When it comes to battery life, at least now you expect Samsung to be really thorough, and they spent a good portion of the presentation talking about their 8-point battery safety test. So they didn't squeeze a gigantic battery in here. They focused a lot on making the battery just last longer, and is a 3000 mAh battery in the Galaxy S8. So the camera on the S8 is going to make you either happy or a bit disappointed. It's the same sensor we saw on the Note 7, and the same sensor that's sitting on probably the phone on your desk, the S7 or the S7 Edge. It's still a really good 12 megapixel shooter, but I would have liked to see an improvement, especially on a new phone. The improvement though, we're saved for the front megapixel sensor. That's now 8 megapixel with an f1.7 aperture. A staple on Samsung phones has been that oval physical home button. That is gone. The home button's moved to the back, very curiously located next to the fingerprint sensor, and you think about logistically how your hand's going to sit when you tap that, you're going to be smudging the heck out of that 12 megapixel sensor on the back. That's not the only way you can unlock your phone though. Samsung included the iris scanning technology we found in the Galaxy S7, as well as crazy fast face detection, which as I tested you can see worked, like I said, crazy fast. There's now a pressure sensitive area on the bottom of the phone that lets you access the home button, so pretty much you can just press hard there in any app, it'll take you home. But when you're on that home screen, you'll see on screen, back, and multitasking buttons. Also new here is Bixby, Samsung's new AI, which you're going to hear a ton about over pretty much every Samsung device coming out over the next few years. It's their intelligent user interface. And Samsung is claiming anything you can do with your finger, you can do with your voice with Bixby. So Bixby's got cognitive tolerance, so it'll kind of know what you're doing. So if you're having a conversation with your friend and you say send the last picture, it'll know to send the last picture that you took, and it'll send it to that friend. And one of the things I really like about Bixby, instead of just saying, I can't do that, whatever you ask it, it'll ask you questions to get that job done. Underneath the Bixby umbrella, you also have Bixby Vision. There's going to be a little button inside of the camera app. You can tap that, and it's going to essentially give you augmented reality. You can point the camera at a restaurant, it'll give you reviews. Point it at a camera or any other electronic or device. It'll tell you prices, books, it'll tell you a synopsis of what it's going to be about. It's going to do a lot of cool stuff, and it should get better as the AI tends to learn more. So the storage on all the S8s is going to be 64 gigs, but you can up that with a micro SD card up to 256 or higher as they start to support it. And other Samsung staples you'd expect are also on board here. You've got fast charging via USB-C, you've got fast wireless charging, and of course IP68. I know a lot of you have knocked on Samsung for the software in the past, and myself included, but they stepped out of their own way here. The launcher looks good. Samsung seemed to stick with what they did well and took out the rest of the fluff. So the UI seems pretty solid this time around. So aside from the Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus, Samsung unveiled a slew of new things to go along with them. You've got a new Samsung Connect Home. It's a mesh Wi-Fi system with SmartThings built in. Samsung DeX is Samsung's desktop docking station. Essentially, you get the power of the keyboard and mouse all powered from your phone. It's akin to what you've got with Microsoft's Continuum. You drop your phone in, you're going to get full access to all of your stuff. Support for every Android app is going to be there. They worked really closely with Microsoft to get support for full Office and its own Windows, as well as trying to get virtualization for Windows 10 coming. Also, we've got a new Gear VR, the new Gear VR controller. It's going to be backwards compatible with obviously the S8, but the S7 or the Note 5 with some adapters thrown in. And the last new thing they announced is a Gear 360. It's smaller, it does 4K now. You can actually live stream at 2K. It's got kind of a new bulbishy, periscopy design. So that is the S8 and all of its accessories of friends. If you want to learn more about the Galaxy S8 Plus, we'll link to that down below, or we will link it on screen, so you can go ahead and click it and take a look. And are you guys going to pick one of these things up? If you are, which color? If you're not, why not? Leave in the comments down below and let us know. Until next time, I'm John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo.